The last Avengers movie comes out this weekend, and I'm kind of freaking out because I love Avengers. I just love superhero movies in general. In fact, in honor of today, I'm wearing my Captain America shirt that I usually sleep in. And you know, Captain America, my favorite Avenger. I know that personally, every time I watch an Avengers movie, I'm always like, I gotta go work out, or it inspires me to try kickboxing or something. They're just so badass, right? And I know that I'm not the only one that gets inspired to hit the gym after watching Avengers. Going along with that, a lot of people are looking up, what are these actors actually eating as well to get this low body fat percentage and to look that swole? A little baby bicep. How are they doing it? What exactly are they eating? Should you be doing it too? I'm going to be going over all of that in today's video, the superhero Avengers diet edition. When I was doing some research to look into what all these actors were doing for their dietary protocol in order to get that big, it all basically comes down to a pretty typical bodybuilder type of diet. You can look up a lot of different YouTube videos on interviews with people like Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, all the Chris's really for that matter, and they'll all say the same thing. Eating often throughout the day, typically 5, 6, 7 times throughout the day. Eating a lot of clean protein, so meaning things like chicken or fish, vegetables, and brown rice. That honestly cannot get more stereotypical type of bodybuilder diet than that. Now, what you have to remember is that these actors are also pairing this with a high level of exercise. I mean, you can't just build muscles from eating a lot of food. So the whole point of what they're trying to do is actually to keep their insulin levels high, because insulin is the anabolic hormone, so it's the storing hormone. And so the philosophy behind this type of dietary protocol of eating often throughout the day is that you are keeping your insulin levels high in order to promote muscle growth. So a typical meal might be like chicken and spinach and brown rice, or whey protein and spinach and some berries, or salmon and brown rice and broccoli. And that's actually something that you'll notice a lot of people say when they are following this typical bodybuilder type of diet, is it's really boring and it's a lot of the same foods, and that they have to force themselves to eat that much protein. Because when you calculate it, oftentimes you're eating about 200 grams of protein, or maybe even more, which is a lot of protein. And so as a result, you're going to feel uncomfortably full and probably this weird like protein bloat. I don't know if you guys have experienced this before, but this can really happen when you are eating too much protein. This type of dietary protocol also tends to emphasize calories in versus calories out as a means of decreasing body fat percentage. And like I've said in videos like this one, this can work in the short term, but it definitely doesn't work long term. And there's a lot of studies that have proven this, that calories in, calories out does not work long term, that it'll actually cause you to decrease your basal metabolic rate and make it so that you have to continue to eat less and less and less in order to achieve the same results. That's why you'll often see things like a plateau in weight loss if you are solely relying on calories in, calories out, or cutting your calories. That's the result of your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, starting to decrease. So calories in, calories out does not work. But let's go back to this whole eating often throughout the day thing. If you guys have watched my channel before, even like one of my videos, and you'll know that I'm not a fan of this. Let's just go back to the whole purpose of muscle gain. So when you are eating often throughout the day, this actually inhibits your growth hormone and your testosterone, two things that you actually need for muscle repair and muscle growth. That's actually why a lot of people, when they utilize intermittent fasting, they tend to experience increase in muscle mass, because by not eating, they're actually increasing their growth hormone and testosterone, which leads to muscle growth. It's a weird concept to wrap your head around, but when you really look at your hormones and the hormone profiles and what your hormones are doing and what inhibits those hormones, it makes sense. So by eating often throughout the day, it's really only utilizing that one anabolic hormone, which is insulin, and having consistently higher levels of insulin can also lead to insulin resistance, which will cause a lot of health problems down the line, including making it so that you're actually more likely to gain weight in the future too. Plus, there's athletes like George St. Pierre who utilize this whole protocol of eating often throughout the day and then ultimately develop ulcerative colitis. Now, there's speculation that ulcerative colitis is actually caused by eating too often. So for long-term purposes, eating 6, 7, 8 times throughout the day is actually not going to benefit your health. Maybe in the short term, it'll help with your gains, but that's the short term, and that really can have a rebound effect instead. And like I mentioned, if you look at any of these videos with any of these actors, they talk about how difficult it was to stick with this type of protocol, especially due to just how boring the meals are. I mean, in order for any type of protocol to work for you as a person, you need to enjoy it. Otherwise, you will have zero compliance, because there's this thing called decision fatigue. So if you're not satisfied with your meals, then constantly saying no to things that you actually enjoy will become harder and harder and harder. And eventually that's going to wear thin, and that can lead to binging activity, which of course will work against your goals. These actors are very disciplined. They have to go through through this whole protocol in order to gain that much muscle mass for the movies that they're going to be starring in. So they have a lot of incentive to overcome that decision-making fatigue and to put up with really boring meals. And this isn't a lifetime type of protocol that they're following. Many of them actually go off of it once they're done with filming. So when it comes down to the question of should you do it, there's a lot better ways to increase your muscle mass than eating often throughout the day and eating foods that you don't enjoy. Like I mentioned, intermittent fasting has been proven to increase your growth hormone, which is needed in order to repair your muscles and to increase muscle growth. So if you are interested in checking out how you can utilize intermittent fasting in order to increase your growth hormone naturally, highly recommend you check out this video next. It goes over the 10 intermittent fasting mistakes that most people make when utilizing intermittent fasting as a beginner. Also, if you love the science-backed information, make sure you subscribe to my channel right here and turn on the notification bell. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Alright guys, I'm gonna go check out the new Avengers movie this weekend and I'll see you in my next video.